And we're back on An Hour to Give. I'm Sam Laprade. We're featuring an organization that is near and dear to my heart, and that is Voice Found. I'd like to introduce two guests that are joining me right now. The one and only Lucie Bruneau. Hello.
Hi, Sam.
Thanks for being here.
Oh, it's great to be here.
Appreciate it very much. And Keith Egli, how are you, my friend?
Good, thank you.
Keith Egli and I have had a lot of interviews together. I'm meeting Lucie for the very first time today. But Keith, I think back to the wonderful work you've done as a city councillor and the work you've done in this city, such a community champion. But I remember a very, very important day. And that was the day I was on the air and came across my screen, because we're friends on Facebook, and came across my screen that you had written an article for the Ottawa Citizen. And I'll never forget that moment. We reached out to you right away and said, Keith, can you come on and tell this story? And it was one of childhood sexual abuse. And thank you so much, Keith, because I know you've received lots of people reaching out to you, thanking you for sharing the story, because it really did open the conversation. So tell me a little bit about why you chose to share your story.
Well, a number of reasons. One is it just hurt too much to keep it inside any longer, and it wasn't doing me any good. I had some medical issues that were related to the stress and the strain of just holding on to that for so long, and so I just decided that it had to come out. As Lucie said to me, you just got to barf it out sometimes.
Yeah.
So it was important for me to let go of it, and I think by doing that gave me an opportunity to move forward.
For sure, absolutely. And you were so eloquent. You're an eloquent writer, of course. You shared your story. Being a community leader, having that sort of reputation in this community of being somebody that served this community, how important do you think it was to sort of model that it's okay to talk about this?
I was overwhelmed, and Lucie and I actually spoke that day or the day after, but just by how many people reached out to me, and I knew there would be a response, but what I found difficulty with was how many people who reached out and said it happened to them, or it happened to someone in their family. And again, I remember hearing from Voice Found, like, we're filling up our programs. People are, so, and that made it worth it. It wasn't an easy day. You said you'll remember. I'll certainly always remember. I remember sitting in front of my laptop, waiting for the story to come up, and it did, and I just started crying because it was out. It was done. It was there. And it was kind of happy tears in a weird way, because it was finally I could let go of it.
And you can relate, Lucie.
Oh yes.
Tell me about your story.
So my story is a bit different because I lived with it very openly my whole life. So I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. And I had wonderful parents who were very supportive throughout the whole thing. And there was different events further on in my life, and there was sexual violence also. So it's a piece that, because of my background and my strong family bonds, I was able to heal throughout the whole thing. So I didn't have the same big secret, but it's not something that you discuss, hi, I'm Lucie, I'm a survivor,
right. Right.
So it's that kind of thing. So for me, it's always been a very open subject, and I think it was always important. And as a parent also, I've raised 3 sons, and so for me, as being female and a survivor, it was very important for my sons to know about what can happen, what's out there, and everything else. So, and I think in that meeting with Cynthia, because I was already a peer supporter. I'm a trained peer supporter, and meeting by accident, it was just wonderful serendipity to meet with her, and her sharing with me her dream of having a program, for survivors of childhood sexual abuse. And it was like, wow, I qualify,
Right. Right.
So it was really a gift, and it was a great opportunity for me because my entire life I've wanted to give back and to do work that was very helpful and impactful. So it was really a wonderful opportunity for me, and I'm so grateful for Cynthia to have given me this opportunity to basically start right from zero. The Strength Found program, it was launched during the pandemic. So literally, we were launching the day that everything shut down.
Wow.
Yeah. So the first year was really a difficult year, but did give us a wonderful gift. COVID did give us a gift that we learned that we could support people virtually.
Bingo.
So that opened us to right across Canada. So we didn't have to be strictly in person and all that.
Wow, so
Yeah.
inspiring. And Keith, when you think about, obviously, getting connected to someone like Lucie, getting connected to Voice Found, what did you find at Voice Found?
I found a safe space more than anything else. I can't even describe how it felt to finally speak to someone openly that not the same experience, but a similar experience had gone through. Because at the root of all this, I think, is of the abuse is trust. It's a fundamental breach of trust for people, and I think that's the commonality that we all share. And it was like talking to Lucie was like shorthand. You didn't have to go into the nitty gritty. I didn't have to go in the details. I think, Lucie, correct me if I'm wrong, what you said was, we talk in headlines here.
Yeah.
And so we could focus on the healing. We could focus on the important stuff. It wasn't important how it happened, when it happened, who did it to me, who didn't do it to me. None of those things were important. What's important was figuring out how to help me get better. So very much a place of safety. That's what I think of when I think of Voice Found.
And Lucie, when I read Keith's story, and I think one of the things I thought was really important is that he's a man. I mean, I think we normally think about maybe it's women or girls that this is happening to. I think I like to bust myths. So I think a really important part of that was that.
Yeah, oh yeah, men, and it's very difficult for men. And I just want to say one thing before we get into that, so I don't forget, is Keith, the gift that Keith gave coming out and sharing his story is he opened the door for a lot of men to be able to come out, that there's not, because there's so much shame. There's shame for women. There's a lot of shame and trust issues and all that, but there's a huge shame for men to discuss it, to come out with it, because it's the society has attached masculinity to it being an important thing, and being a survivor of CSA, that you were not masculine enough to defend yourself, whatever. But this is a myth. This is not true. So this was the gift that Keith gave, and this is something that we have noticed with our men's group. Never in the 3 years since we've launched it have we ever been able to fill up a group. They filled the men's group before they filled the women's group. This has never happened in Strength Found. So that was like, wow. I would love texting Keith that.
Yeah. Because you did inspire so many.
Yeah.
But I think, to that point, Keith, I mean, coming out and sharing your story, inspiring other men, has that helped you heal?
It has. I mean, for me, talking is healing. The more that I can talk about it. We've talked about my tattoo before, and I know you won't let me say what it really means, but the first word is tenacious. And I was recently on vacation by the pool, and a gentleman asked me what the tattoo was about, and I explained. And a few days later, when we were leaving, he came up to me, shook my hand, he said, "It's been a pleasure getting to know you, tenacious."
I love it.
So we have to talk about it. We have to take it out of the shadows, and I think that's the only way to do that is to talk about services like Voice Found and let people know that there is support out there.
I mean, when I learned about Voice Found, so I'm going to take you back. So many, many, many years ago, I met Cynthia, and she sat across from me. I can still picture us to this day, and said, "This is what I want to do." And I remember thinking, that is a huge goal. Yeah. And look at her now. And we're going to get to meet her in a few minutes, obviously. But when you think about your role in Voice Found, do you just want to shout it from the rooftops too that all of this is available?
Oh, so the whole program is just so powerful. The Strength Found program is peer-led, and it's peer support. So right away when a client reaches out to us, they can reach out right away from online. They can be referred, they can self-refer, they can be referred by different organizations, physicians, anybody. So they right away meet with, they will have an intake just to find out how they are, where they're at, what their needs are. They're connected to a peer supporter. So we work with, we're a team of, we're 4 peer supporters all together. And it's really a powerful team that I work with. And from there on, they have one-on-one peer support, which is ongoing. There's no, end date because we know that healing is linear. So with that, we help find them, guide them through their healing process. We do have a 15-week program that is an amazing, proven program that is really, really powerful. Keith and I did it together, and it's a really great program. Every time I do it or I run the program, I'm just like so moved, and you learn. It's an ongoing learning and healing. So they do this program, and then they have multiple workshops because, as we talked about, trust. Trust is a big thing. Getting survivors out of isolation, building trust. So we have social events to bring them to the office so that they can feel a safe place to start reconnecting, because they need to connect back to community and understand that they can be safe and trust others again. So there's that. So we do workshops, we do community events. We have a community garden, so that's my big thing. I always like to have fun with that one, which is a wonderful way to get people back outdoors also. So there's many ways that we support our survivors.
It's wonderful. And, just heading to the Voice Found website, it's so well done. There's so much information there. Can find out lots of the information that you've talked about today. I want to thank you both, because I know that this isn't easy. But I really do appreciate you sharing your story. And Keith, thank you so much over the years for sharing your story with us. And I'm hoping, once again, that we've maybe inspired someone to reach out to Voice Found today and be another person that Lucie gets very excited about that is also going to be on their healing journey. So thank you so much, Lucie, for sharing your story as well. Lucie Bruneau joining us today. Thank you so much. And to my friend Keith, thank you so much as well, Keith, for everything that you do and for our community. Keith Egli joining us today, and Lucie Bruneau sharing their stories about Voice Found.